Let's take a quick look at what's happening on the covers of the dailies this morning. Today is Tuesday, May 7th, 2024. We're starting with the Punch. Mike Mesikeno is here with us as well on this. And it says here, dollar speculation. Federal government to ban Naira from crypto trading platforms. SEC set to unveil fresh rules banning Naira from crypto exchanges. DG meets operators, directs traders to name and shame racketeers. Beside the masthead there, it says Rivers Assembly overrides Fubara again. Governor vows not to worship any man. France rules out sitting military base in Nigeria. Federal government orders registration of 1.9 million POS operators. Shettima shelves U.S. trip as presidential jet develops fault mid-air. Let's see what else we have here. Woman shot, scores injured as police tear gas Delta protesters. Do you have any story there?
Sure. Yesterday I saw some videos of the River State Governor, Siminalayi Fubara, and his the crisis happening there is really intriguing, to say the least. You understand, considering what has been going on, the party affiliations and all of that. And when these kind of things happen, governance most times takes a back seat because the governor said something about working with his enemies. And that's talking about members of the cabinet. So think about it. When you think that you're working with people who will sabotage what you're doing, you hardly have time to think and focus on the people. So while all of this is going on, even if someone can say, oh, the governor is doing this, is doing that, the earlier these kind of things are sorted out, politics should not be a 4-year thing or an 8-year thing. You do it during the election season. When we finish that, we move over to governance. Once it's governance, parties should not be involved. I mean, the people voted you to come in and serve the people, irrespective of whatever party. You understand? But you see, as Africans, that's a problem. And people have spoken about, if you remember on book chat that we had here, when we were talking about how Africans, can we govern ourselves? Would greed allow us? Would bigotry allow us? Would pride allow us to govern ourselves? The best governed countries in Africa are ones that probably the colonialists stayed longer or foreigners are still involved. And it's the truth.
Yeah.
It's the truth, because look at how now governance is on the back seat. How long? It's 1 year now. It's 1 year. And it's still going on and on. And then he made mention, the governor made mention something. He said that what are they even fighting for? That the money is not even good money. So that means, of course, money is exchanging hands, but to his own standard, that money doesn't even make enough. It is sad.
It is a sad fact.
We should be governing now. We shouldn't be talking about political wrangling and all of that.
There's still so many, in fact, more questions than answers at this point. And of course, we will be watching that developing story. We have the Daily Trust here as well. Similar headline to the Punch here. It says, federal government cracks down on illegal crypto traders as SEC rolls out new regulations. Beneath the masthead there, what I have is we would have fared better if Yaradua had finished his tenure, says go on. It says here, I was offered 1 million Naira to sell my kidney, 16-year-old boy says there. Shettima aborts U.S. trip over faulty aircraft. And it also says here, Hamas accepts Egypt, Qatari, Gaza truce proposal. Now, that proposal was something we talked about last week as something that they were considering. And I think it has to do with a certain number of days for aid to get
humanitarian aid for them to access humanitarian aid. Someone said that, look, it's been going on for quite a while. It's been going on for quite a while, and there will always be collateral damage. And that's what the United Nations and every other person is trying to avert as much as possible. You know, I just want to mention the stuff about 1 million. Is it that cheap now? The kidney.
Wow.
You know, there was a time when it was quite commonplace. You hear stuff like, oh, this person want to go to Malaysia or somewhere, sell your kidney and all of that. 1 million. If you sell one kidney, 1 million, how long would that last you now? So
as much as you're giggling about it, there are all these issues, or you've
organ
heard about.
investing and all of that.
Funny enough, I was thinking about all those even in Nollywood you hear of people going missing and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
And the assumption was it was for ritual purposes, and then it was discovered I think sometime last year that
organ harvesting market
exactly
in some parts of the country.
Yeah, all over the world, in fact.
All over the world and all of that, because
it's a scary thought.
It is.
For a 16-year-old to be approached this way, of course, the story...
But I think a few months back, I think some weeks back, I think the first human pig, or was it pig-human heart transplant?
Yes.
Happened.
Yeah.
Was successful. I need to check up and see the update on how he is going.
Yeah.
But there have been quite a lot of leaps and bounds when it comes to medical technological advancement, and it makes me, if we can get options, because a lot of times people have to wait for donors, they have to wait on a waiting list. It can quite be, challenging in those kind of phases. So,
there are a lot of medical advancements that we should look out for, but they've been using pig skin for suturing,
for grafting, and all of that.
For many years, and
it's just funny how close. The pig, should I say the pig anatomy, or as it were, DNA, is compatible with man's own. So what would you say about gorillas? Maybe apes?
Well, I'm going to
might be closer.
They might be closer.
I'm just thinking, I'm just thinking.
If a pig on the fact that gorillas are extremely endangered.
Yeah, so of course, definitely. Of course, yeah, but gorillas, apes, it can be much closer when it comes to compatibility.
We have to see what we can do. Touching on other newspapers here, we have the Vanguard. As quickly as possible, let's take this. It talks about the petrol scarcity, why pump price is high in our stations, according to IP-Man. Price gap between major marketers and independents widens. Major marketers in B2B transactions. It also says here above the masthead, electricity. Federal government slashes band A tariff by 8% to 206.8 Naira per kilowatt.
So I've been complaining about 8%. Being in band W.
Yeah.
But for the past 2 days, I said I did band B.
Oh, okay.
They've been trying.
Okay.
So let me just, since I've been complaining.
Well, you haven't moved house, right?
Yeah. No, I've not. Since I've been complaining, it's good that at least when maybe my complaints did something. So now it's like I'm around band C, between band C and B.
You never
somewhere
know.
There.
You never know. But at this point, we would love to hear your thoughts on what's happening on the covers of the dailies this morning. If you have the chance, grab a newspaper today and read through some of the stories you mentioned. But use our hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC if you have any comments to share.